Hey guys, DB Raw here, and today we are continuing with What if Barne went with Goku to Earth? Now, carrying off right where we left off, for those of you who haven't read this discussion, we just concluded the Piccolo Jr. arc, which ultimately went similarly like it did in the original anime. However, I do recommend you guys check out the earlier videos in this series in order to catch up. Anyways, moving right along, it is now been 5 years, and well, since then, of course, Gohan has been born to, in this case, Kakarot and Chi-Chi, while Barne and Krillin have also had a child of their own, a half Saiyan child, by the name of Cullen. I know, it's very similar to Krillin, but I thought Cullen was a cool name. Especially for a young Saiyan boy. And well, thanks to the addition of another half Saiyan, this actually meant that Chi-Chi had no choice but to let Gohan train. So, every time Barne would come over with Cullen, they'd be training on. As long as Gohan still kept up with his studies and all that, Chi-Chi wasn't too concerned. In fact, with some wise words coming from Barne, Chi-Chi was actually convinced to join in the training too, in order to bond with her family. After all, that's how Saiyans bond together, they spar with each other. And of course, Chi-Chi's not a Saiyan, but still, it could work on the same sort of principle. At least she'd understand her family a bit better. So, why not? So, we have a Chi-Chi who has at least learned to fly in these 5 years and can shoot projectile attacks, or ki blasts. And well, now that we're getting the arrival of Big Brother Raditz, we are now into the events at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. And well, in this case, everyone is going to the reunion. Chi-Chi is going as well. So, we've got Kakarot, Gohan, and Chi-Chi, Barne and Cullen, who, by the way, when I said whenever they'd come over, it was pretty much every day because they literally built a house right next door to Kakarot and Chi-Chi's on Mount Palzu. So training is unavoidable. Anyway, everyone's going together to the reunion. And meanwhile, Big Brother Raditz has landed on Earth. Oh, are you weaklings still here? Huh. It would seem my two siblings are nothing but failures. And of course, he's looking around for the highest power level, and he detects one. Perhaps it's one of his siblings off on their own. Of course it's not. Turns out it's Piccolo, and that pretty much runs down exactly like it does in the original anime, with Piccolo more or less starting a fight with Raditz, and Raditz deciding not to finish the fight when he detects all these other power levels. That there are at least 4 people with decently high power levels all heading in the same direction. Of course, he's detecting both his siblings and both his nephews, and possibly even Chi-Chi and Krillin. And, well, you can imagine Raditz is off to investigate. However, Raditz is sort of changing his mannerisms a little bit. Just, perhaps if he's lucky, he can rely on the sort of intimidation game. However, Raditz can't help but feel that if these people join forces to fight him, he might have a bit of trouble. So, he's, trying to come up with a way out of this in case things go sideways. And well, meanwhile, the reunion is happening much like it does in the original, with Bulma already at Roshi's, and well, no one's really seen Tien and Chaozu since the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, and Yamcha has been busy since with his baseball career, and apparently two-time Bulma, and Bulma decided not to tell him about the reunion. So yeah, I guess Yamcha's in the doghouse. And well, while the Son family are catching up with Master Roshi and Bulma, they suddenly do sense this evil energy heading straight towards them, and it's pretty powerful. The likes of which they haven't sensed before. This was even worse than Piccolo. And, well, at that time that was saying something. And so, before them is a tall man with a pineapple hairstyle staring daggers straight at Kakarot and Barne. Huh. So it seems I've finally found you two, Kakarot, Barne. What? Well, who are you? Can't you tell? Do you not recognize your own brother, Raditz? And well, they notice the tail and realize he's wearing Saiyan armor. And Barne gets a little bit of a flashback to just some repressed memory back when her and Kakarot were still in the nursing capsules. Her eyes were open for a little bit, where she saw Gine and Bardock, and Raditz. Just a little bit of a memory there. And when she opens her mouth, it's enough to confirm to Kakarot that yes, this is indeed Raditz, the older brother that their mother Gine would come for them someday. Remember, back during the whole Fortune Teller Barber saga, the masked fighter instead of Grandpa Gohan turned out to be Gine. After all, Grandpa Gohan is alive in this timeline. Which reminds me, yes, he too is at this reunion. I keep forgetting to mention Grandpa Gohan. I've got to stop that. And, well, suddenly, Barney's surprised glance turns more into a frown. We know why you've come, big brother, and we're not interested in joining up with this Lord Freeza. You do realize he destroyed our planet, and this hits Raditz by surprise, because no, he did not know that. He thought Planet Vegeta was destroyed by a bunch of meteorites. A meteor had claimed Planet Vegeta, and of course, Vegeta and Nappa didn't know either. In the original, Vegeta was told by Dodoria during the Namek saga, so they're listening in, and they are quite surprised to hear this too. We will never work for the likes of Freeza. We will not harm innocent people for profit. Ha! So this is what's become of my siblings. You've become soft, weak, localized, at least I think that's the word. You are now one of these weak people. Father would be ashamed. You two could have conquered this world within a year and lived like a king and queen. But no. I see now. Getting you to join the Freeza Force would be just a waste of time. You'd only get in our way and slow us down. So, enough talk. As your older brother, it is my duty to put you down. You're a disgrace to our race. And well, Raditz, more or less, begins powering up. Now, is he actually really intending on killing his siblings? Well, actually no. He's just trying to show off a bit of force and try to convince them to join him. By the only way, at this point he knows how, by an exchange of fists in glorious Saiyan combat. And well, the fight breaks out, and Raditz does manage to basically take him by surprise, and initially ends up double gut punching the two, and pretty much laying him out, before he proceeds to essentially do the same thing he does in the original timeline. He grabs not just Gohan, but Cullen as well, and gives them the same ultimatum that he gave Goku in the original timeline. He wants 100 dead humans in there by sundown tomorrow, and he'll be back for a head count. And if he finds that his siblings have failed him, he'll, kill the children. And, well, Gohan and Cullen are trying to, struggle their way free of Raditz. I mean, after all, these boys are fighters, but Raditz definitely has enough power that he's able to subdue the two. And so, he flies off with them, and Barne and Kakarot get back up, and just like in the original, Gohan does have a Dragon Ball on his hat. So luckily, they can use the Dragon Radar to find him. And of course, Piccolo was listening in the entire time, and decides he's going to join in this fight. Teaming up with Kakarot and Barne as a means to an end to get rid of this Saiyan. And well, pretty much with that, they're off without a hitch, but Barne is insisting that her husband stay out of this fight, that Cullen stays out of this. Kakarot warning Chi-Chi as well. They're not strong enough for this level of combat. At least not yet. And well, doesn't stop Master Roshi, Bulma, Krillin, and Chi-Chi for getting in and following them anyway. And well, meanwhile, in flight, we got Raditz with the knocked out Gohan and Cullen, and he's actually conversing with Nappa and Vegeta. What do you guys think about what Barne and Kakarot said about Freeza destroying our world?
Well, I think it's a bunch of ridiculous nonsense if you ask me. What do you think, Vegeta?
I don't think we can be too sure at this point. Raditz, my orders still stand. Either get Kakarot and Barne to join us, or do away with them, understood? Very well. And well, Raditz can't help but think that maybe Barne was telling the truth. Raditz has seen honesty in that face before. After all, Barne is, in terms of her face, is pretty much a spitting image of his mother. And all the times Gine had told the truth to him, he can recognize that same look in Barne. So while this does bring into question the things they are doing, it's affecting him somewhat. And well, he can't help but think, what if it is true? Why, if it is true, why continue to serve Freeza? Wouldn't that make Freeza a traitor? All these thoughts consuming Raditz as he was going on. But either way, Vegeta's word is law in Raditz's ear, and at this point, he will do what he must. The boys are thrown into his space pod. Raditz looking for some food, when suddenly he is interrupted when he does detect Barne, Kakarot, and Piccolo approaching. Well, look at this. If it isn't my little brother and sister. Oh, and they brought the Namekian. No, Namekian? So, yep, the Namekian Piccolo is pretty much explained right there. A little earlier in the Saiyan arc. Cool? Alright, cool. Tell me, have you killed 100 humans already? I don't see them anywhere. No, Raditz. We've come to get our children back. To tell you to get off our world and tell Freeza, forget it. Ho ho ho! Bold words, considering how easily I laid the two of you out. Very well, it looks like Big Brother is gonna have to educate you further. And well, both Barne and Kakarot proceed to take off their weighted clothing, and of course Piccolo does the same as well. And pretty much we got the three of them charging, and this actually puts Raditz a bit more on his toes this time. Raditz isn't as easily able to get an offense on this trio attacking him. In fact, the way they are attacking him as a group right now, a 3-on-1 group, it's the only thing Raditz can do at this point is defend himself, block and dodge. That thing Gohan can't do very well. So he's dodging and blocking away, and you've got Vegeta and Nappa sort of talking in Raditz's ear. Raditz, you better start fighting back. I can tell you're only blocking and defending. And, well, Raditz does manage to get a little bit of distance away from Piccolo, Barne, and Kakarot, and as they try to come in again, Raditz flicks the three of them away with a burst of his power, and pretty much fires double Sunday right then and there. Pretty much the shockwave from the beam catching Barne and Kakarot, while Piccolo lost his arm, much like he does in the original. And, well, with them slightly winded and confused more or less by the raw power, Raditz is finally able to get in there and get a little offense in with getting hits in on Barne, Kakarot, and Piccolo. And, well, with the way that even with the three of them are struggling, they're going to need something pretty powerful to knock Raditz out of this fight. Piccolo, of course, revealing that he does have such a technique that could do the job, but he needs the other two to keep him distracted. And, well, this is where Barne begins to try to talk more sense into his brother, as in Raditz, trying to talk more sense into Raditz, looking at him a certain way that actually has Raditz cowering a little bit. And this look is the sort of look that their mother used to give him when he was a kid, whenever he had misbehaved as a child. Yes, Raditz knows that look well, and especially since Barne resembles Gine that closely, it is having a bit of an effect on him. What you're doing is wrong, brother. You don't have to spend your life killing people anymore. Those days are done. You can stay with us. Live happily. Get married. Spar with us whenever you want. It doesn't have to be this way. We can be a family, just like our mother wants. Mother? How would you know what mother would want? Deep down, Raditz knows this to be true. Gine wasn't a ruthless Saiyan, but he's trying to make it out like she was. You can't fool us, brother. We met our mother once. What? Explain. I will, if you just stop fighting. You and I both know Mother didn't want this for any of us. And, well, all it takes is more words from Vegeta to make Raditz get back into the fight. So now you got Barne and Kakarot fighting with Raditz and distracting him, which it's beginning to look like what it may have looked like if Piccolo and Kakarot kept double teaming him from the start to finish. So I guess it does make the fight a bit more even. Kakarot's not getting totally thrashed. It's about even. And with Barne and Kakarot's double team attacks throughout the years, they're getting some good hits on Raditz, even Barne managing to avoid Raditz and getting this cool double kick to him right in the face. And Piccolo's just standing there, charging my attack. He's ready to go, and Gohan and Cullen, other than who aren't crying and worrying and sniveling like Gohan does in the original, they're cheering their parents on. You're awesome, Mom! Kick his butt! Get him, Dad! And, well, with, that, Piccolo manages to fire the special beam cannon. However, No, Kakarot and Barne did not grab Raditz by the tail to try to slow him down. Oh, why is that, DB Rai? Well, Barne and Kakarot actually figured that Raditz may have trained himself to not be vulnerable to that weakness, much like they did. And, well, Raditz did see the special beam cannon coming at the last second. The beam basically just got a bit of a hit on sort of his, like, the part of the chest that starts to sort of meet up with the shoulder, that sort of area. So he's not dead, but he's getting pretty badly wounded. And, well, he, the scouter ends up falling from Raditz's face, and, before he could really capitalize, he's hit by a double Kamehameha from our twins, Kakarot and Barne, and, well, that is the last thing Raditz sees for a while, until he comes to later at, the Capsule Corp house, Bulma's house. He's all bandaged up and everything. And, well, as for the scouter, Barne and Kakarot destroyed that. Raditz is not going to be getting any more messages to attack his siblings. And, well, with Raditz waking up in a Capsule Corp bed, all bandaged up and in restraints, of course. Now the siblings can have a proper chat with him. Piccolo, not exactly happy about this, is sort of accepting this, and this is where Raditz reveals a startling truth. You fools! You should have killed me! Now they'll come for us all! You talking about Freeza? No. 2 others of our kind. Nappa, the former commander of the Saiyan military, and Prince Vegeta. They will come, and they will end us for sure! You should have joined me. We cannot fight those 2. It would be suicide. When will they get here? If we're lucky, a year. And, well, Kakarot and Barne decide that pretty much within a year's time, they will meet these other 2 Saiyans 1 year from now in combat. Raditz thinking, this is a suicide mission, no way they're going to get that kind of power within a year. But hey, don't underestimate these Earthlings. I think this is a good spot to leave things for now. So what do you guys think? Will they be able to convince Raditz that it is possible they can free themselves from these tyrants of the galaxy? Will Raditz come along? Or will he betray them the second Nappa and Vegeta show up? All this and more next time as we continue this exciting What If. Catch you later.